be showing you how to import a clip in Final Cut Pro X to begin editing. This video will show you features of the import window, how to import full clips or selection of clips, and how to create a new project and move files into the project window to begin editing. First, you want to open up Final Cut, which is the rainbow clapboard icon that you see here. I've already opened it, so you'll see that it opens up on a blank screen. Now before we import, let's review what we're looking at. On the left is the event library. This is where you will see your different projects and events where you can put your files in. It's a way to categorize the different sorts of files and projects you're working on. The bottom half is your project window, where you will actually edit your project. And then there's the event library, the preview window, and the inspector window. The event window is where your files that exist in your library will show up. The preview window will allow you to play your video and watch it before you edit it and save it. And the inspector window is where you find options depending on the tools that you're working on within Final Cut. Now, back to importing. There are a few ways to import a file. The most obvious is this arrow with the import media words on it. You can also use this down arrow icon button or file import media. And for those of you who like quick keys, you can also do Command I. Now each of these will do the exact same thing, which will open up a new import window. So here's where you will need to find the video on your computer to import. I've saved mine to the desktop, and I'm going to look for it here on the list of my desktop items, and it is called Sledding 1. So when I click on it, it will open up in a preview screen. So you can preview your video and select what parts of your video you actually want to import. Now the preview window will allow you to play the video, and if you notice, underneath it is this timeline. So the timeline will allow you to start and stop at different points of the video to select the areas that you actually want to import. This yellow box shows what selection of the video you actually want to import. So you can import the entire selection or just pieces of it. So in order to change this box, if this were a new video and you were to click on it, the yellow box would select the entire thing. Otherwise, so that would be like that. So if this were a new video, you would just click on that and it would select like this. If you would like to take only pieces of your video, for instance, I'd like to start the import from here, you use the shift click button to change your in point. You can also use the shift click button to change the out point. So after we see our friend there, let's make that the end of the clip. I do shift click, I've changed the out point. So now I've selected just a piece of the entire clip that I want to import into Final Cut. So when I do that, I click Import Selected. Now some of you may have a black screen to your right that has other options. In this version of Final Cut, I need to click Import Selected to get to those options. So these are the same options depending on the screen you're working on, if it's a black window over here or if it's a gray window pop-up. So you can choose then where the imported file will live. Now it defaults to Add to Existing Event, which is from that library that if you remember from earlier. This is essentially a folder where the files will live. You can choose this one, you can choose another one that may already exist, or you can create an entirely new event if you wish. You can leave everything else defaulted on the window. And actually, this audio will be unchecked for most of you. But what I'd like you to do is make sure you check the audio to analyze and fix audio problems, which will automatically review the video and just make little changes to the audio to make sure it's as optimized as possible. So when you're ready with that, you click the word import. Now the timeline will show progress of the import depending on how large the file is. Now if it's a big file, it may take a while and you see that the progress report the bar will move. Now even if you have a very large video, it will allow you to make edits even before it's finished up importing. But this one is a small one, so it took pretty much no time at all. Now when it imports, we're back to the main screen and you'll see that it's imported file into our event 3316. Now, this is now living in our event window area. So just like in the preview, you can use the mouse to move along the video to see it and see your entire clip. So now we've got the video ready to go, we need to create a new project. And there are a few ways to do that. You can either do File, New Project, or you can do Command N. And for some of you, this may not yet be activated and it will say Create New Project right from that screen. So for me, I'm going to do Command N, and I will name it Sledding. And again, this project will also live in this event. So when I create the project, you'll see another project icon to show that that project lives within the event. So we've got the file and we've got the project. So this will activate then the project window if it hasn't already done so, so we can begin editing. So what we want to do now is drag this clip onto the project window so that we can start making changes. Now, just as is in the import screen, if you click once, it will select the entire clip. However, here again, you can also decide if you want to trim it before you even edit it. So again, you can pull the yellow box from the in or the out points to decide how much of that clip you want to actually move to the project timeline. So when you've decided, I'm going to actually select the entire clip, back to that. Then make sure you've got the hand cursor. And when you've got the hand cursor, you can drag it down to the black part of your project timeline. So now you're ready to edit. Other tutorials will go into detail about how to edit and export your Final Cut video package.